First of all, thanks Kanak sir for having me here. So basically, what Volt Money does, I was just interacting with Diwakar sir. तो एक पॉइंट आया बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट कि मैं सर से पूछा था कितने लोग हैं जहाँ पे जिन्होंने म्यूचुअल फंड में रिडेम्पशन देखा है, राइट? सो व्हेन वी आर लुकिंग आउट फॉर अ प्रॉब्लम टू सॉल्व बीइंग इनटू बैंकिंग, one thing we realize in the investing space is that 70% of the mutual fund investors today redeem within 2 years. And this is not direct mutual funds. This is including regular mutual funds across AMCs, across, and this is not me saying, this is AMFI saying. AMFI ये कहता है कि 70% investors redeem within 2 years. So the long-term wealth creation that is happening is not happening. Now why this is happening? कि लोग invest करते हैं आज to aim their financial goals, to have that wealth creation कि मेरा 12-15% का CAGR आएगा over time. बट द बिगेस्ट इशू इज़ कि जैसे ही पैसे की नीड आती है, जो लिक्विडिटी प्रोवाइड करता है म्यूचुअल फंड्स की लिक्विड स्कीम है, वेन एवर आई नीड मनी आई कैन रिडीम दैट. दैट इज़ द बिगेस्ट प्रॉब्लम दैट द म्यूचुअल फंड इंडस्ट्री इज फेसिंग कि जब भी उनको पैसे की ज़रूरत आती है वो पैसा निकाल लेते हैं. बिकॉज मुझे आज 10,000 की ज़रूरत है या 10 लाख की है, आई कैन रिडीम माई म्यूचुअल फंड्स एंड गेट द मनी इन 2 days. वेर एज इफ़ यू कंपेयर इट विद LIC, इफ़ यू इन्वेस्ट टुडे, जीवन के साथ भी जीवन के बाद भी फिर भी शायद पैसा मिल जाए तो भी मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी, right? 10 years is the lock-in period of LIC with a return of 4 to 5%. If you need money in the radio ad, and I'll emphasize, एक बार रेडियो एड में सुनना, वो कहते हैं अगर पैसा चाहिए तो लोन अगेंस्ट LIC ले लो, do not redeem it. That is what we are here to solve, that if you need money, do not redeem your mutual fund units, let them grow over time to reach your financial goals, and if you want money, pledge your mutual funds and take a loan against it for your whatever need it is. It is 100% flexible, but do not redeem your mutual funds. Take a loan and pay it back, but reach your financial goals over time. That is what Volt Money is. It's basically loan against securities done 100% digitally.
Yeah, so I think there will be a lot more questions to Volt, but let's keep them in the parking lot because बहुत सारे questions generate हो रहे मेरे mind में भी. But before that, let's go to Mr. Amog. And we would like to understand from you, Mr. Amog, how Tata Mutual Fund is looking to set up more in terms of the products or in Goa as a region. How are you planning for your next 1 year for this region?
So, good evening everyone. It's good to see such a lovely audience and we have been participative. Coming to the question, how Tata Mutual Fund is planning for the next 1 year and how we have been doing for last few years. So I'll just give you a brief. So from almost I think 68 locations 4 years back, just pre-COVID, we have now crossed 100 locations as our presence location. So I manage rest of Maharashtra and Goa, and we have expanded, we have added 4 locations in the last 1 year. Tata Mutual Fund believes in both the things. So we have a immense digital footprint which is there across channels. Then there is one which is required, which is a legacy channel which we believe in through RR locations or maybe through branch location. This year, at the start of the year only, we have added, we have increased our presence in South Goa. We were never present on that part. And we believe that Goa, I think we now have a guy, Vineet has just joined us for Margao. And possibly, I think within the next 1 year, we should be looking at the branch. In terms of our presence, I'll answer it in a mixed manner because we believe digital is the future now. The more you invest in technology, the more you are technologically capable. So right now, one of my marketing team and my digital engagement, they are working on an AI model, which will enable all of you and many other distributors also maybe to transact in a better way. And this will be beyond whatever platform we have been providing so far. So one part is physical presence, which we have already started, but there is a digital engagement channel which we are working upon. And I'm sure within the next 1.5 year, we should be able to launch it. Thank you.
Yeah. So that's nice to hear from you. And thanks for introducing to your new team for Goa region because that was the need of the hour. Coming to Shweta. Yeah. Shweta. Sorry. The shift in space. So Shweta, also if you could share some light on 360 One Asset because people have know about IIFL. So how 360 has come into play, and being in one 360 asset now, you all are more focusing on Goan market. So what do you also plan for the next 1 year? And the shift from IFL to one 360 asset, if you can share something to our fellow colleagues.
Sure. So good evening, everyone. My name is Shweta Kabra. I am from 361 Asset, which was earlier known as IFL Mutual Fund. Of course, a lot of people would be aware about IFL as a brand, but last year we have renamed ourselves. We rebranded ourselves as 361 Asset. So only two companies get changed, renamed. One is our 361 Wealth, and another was the AMC, which is 361 Asset now. So we have got 361 Wealth Asset Management is the holdco company. AMC is a subsidiary company for that, right? So, honestly, like Sulaksh mentioned that we are working in this Goan market. From last 1 year, we have been very actively trying to make our marks in this territory. Of course, there is a huge potential. At 361, there are few moat which we are trying to create also. We have all heard about 5 Ps in the past: your product, performance, people, processes, and pricing, right? So few things never change for ages. What changes is our outlook towards them. They evolve. The whole concept evolves over a period of time. So earlier, there was a lot of control in over all these 5 Ps. But today, as we speak, in our industry particularly, if we look at it, especially 2 Ps, one, of course, is pricing and performance, are the 2 Ps which are beyond our control, which my fellow partners would agree to. Pricing, of course, thanks to SEBI, there's a lot of regulation activities going on there, and it more or less gets controlled by that, and we have to abide by the rules and regulations by SEBI. Performance is an outcome. It is an outcome of rest of the 3 Ps, which is your process, people, and of course, rest is your products. So product, performance, and processes. Product, processes, and people are the 3 Ps which are under our control. And that is where we at 361 Asset trying to create moat for our distributors, for our investors. The whole idea is to create wealth for our investors in the long run. And that's where we try to be more innovative when it comes to product. So we started our journey way back in 2014 when we first launched our mutual fund, which is now known as 361 Focused Equity Fund. This year we'll complete 10 years for that mutual fund scheme. That year also, same year, we launched our PMS as well, which is now known as 361 Multi-Cap PMS. We were the first ones, in fact, to launch a product in the unlisted market, which has been gaining a lot of attention from ultra HNI categories, HNI people. Over a period, especially last couple of years, we have seen a lot of traction building in that space, in that asset class altogether, and we have been the pioneers. We take a pride in that we are proudly saying that we are one of the largest players in the alternate space. And that's the space where we are trying to innovate more and more and come with the products which are more relevant in terms of market and in terms of our investors as well. So that is one space where we are trying to create moat. Last year, we launched our balanced hybrid fund on the mutual fund space, in the mutual fund space. We were the first ones coming in that category. Of course, then rest of the peer groups also came with the scheme in that category. So we want to be the pioneer, create a new idea, put on table for you a new different product altogether, which you can relate or which you can probably consider as an offering to the investors as well. Process is second, where we want to focus a lot, because for all our fund house industries, process is something which becomes very pivotal in terms of long-term growth. At 361, after Mr. Anup Maheshwari joining us from DSP, he's our CIO on the listed side. He has ensured that there is a framework in process, there is a framework in place. The whole process becomes person agnostic. There's a lot of integration which has happened in terms of artificial intelligence, like Anup just mentioned about how technology has become so critical in our overall long-term story as well. So we try to integrate a lot of our processes with these technology so that the whole bandwidth, whole whole energy of the fund management team gets utilized in a proper way. Third, people, which is utmost important, the entire industry, I think distributors, our partners are the backbone for this industry, and thus are very important for us, internal as well as external people. Internally, we are proudly saying that we have got 4 CIOs, for listed, unlisted, private credit side, and on the real estate side. So very few VMCs have that thing where we are trying to create a moat that we have different individual taking care of all different asset classes. And followed with that, lot of investment happens on developing a team of good 60 analyst and fund management, and lot of investment goes behind them. And there is a lot of activities which we are trying to do so that the engagement with partners increases over a period of time. There is a session which we call at Know Your Fund House, which we have started doing in last 1 year, where we are trying to invite 20-25 partners in our office back in Bombay. We arrange the session, the whole day goes interacting with the fund management team, making you comfortable, how is the style of the fund management, how do we run the whole stock selection process, what is the thought process, so that once you are convinced with the entire process, of course, rest will be taken care. So empowering our distributors, empowering our investors is where we want to create moat for ourselves as well. And this is where we are trying to work every day so that we actually remain relevant for our investors as well as for our partners as well. Thank you. Sorry for that long answer, but since we are new, it's important for us to establish ourselves.
Thank you, Shweta, for being so detailed. So we have time. Thank you. Coming to Kedar, I think Kotak, most of us, everybody would be knowing and paneled with. So let me ask you a little different question on Kotak. For Goan MFDs, how Kotak helps them to digitally be at the forefront in terms of marketing them to their prospective clients or existing clients? Do you all have certain platforms from Kotak which we could onboard and portray our business?
Yeah, good evening. This is Kedar from Kotak. So when it comes to Kotak, a normal norm which has been set to us is like, for us, we have to help the distributor to grow his business. So it becomes like a distributor becomes a client for me. So till now we used to do it in a traditional way. Now what we feel is the time has come wherein we have to go some part into a digital way, wherein we have developed our app. So most of the distributor, I think, would be using our app, that is Kotak Business Hub. Now when it comes to Kotak Business Hub, when we started developing that app, the main idea or the core idea behind the development was, one, create a platform which will actually help the distributor to carry out their day-to-day transaction, and more importantly, some additional modules to be introduced into that app which will actually help distributor to grow his business. And second most important point was, most of the apps there are in the industry, but we wanted to come up with an app which would be more user-friendly. The feedback which we were getting from most of the distributors, we have the app, but we don't know how to actually make the maximum use out of it. So when we designed the app, we made it so simple that it is very easy for the distributor. Rather than focusing on all the modules, I would like to highlight some of the modules which are present on the app which can help the distributor. One of the modules is an opportunity section. Now what do we cover in the opportunity section is, like you will get the access to the your clients, wherein say some of the clients whose SIPs are being rejected, or some of the clients whose SIPs are nearing to maturity. Because what we believe is, for a distributor to acquire a new client, there is a saying that which says it takes 7 times higher price to acquire a new client than to get the business from your existing client. So we help the distributor to get the details wherein he can directly act or say initiate a transaction from a digital platform, and within a fraction of time or within a fraction of second he can actually execute those transactions. Again, when we talk about the digital infrastructure, there won't be any digital infrastructure which don't have any technical glitch. So we also come across many glitches or many problems. Now how do we face as an AMCs when we get such kind of glitch, or if there are any suggestions from the distributor, they are taken in a very right way. We try to resolve it. One, Second, if we need to do some changes or feedbacks are being given most of the distributor, then we try to do changes in our app and we try to incorporate those things in our app. This is how we help actually.
Yeah, thanks Kedar for the insight. I hope you all have taken the note of the Business Hub app from Kotak. Coming to Mr. Kalpesh, Bank of India, during the lunchtime, I think we both had a brief conversation, and I was just discussing about Bank of India AMC. It's not very much into the Go on MFD's book list. So he was sharing with me that Bank of India is basically a distributor kind of a driven AMC. So I would like you to kindly share what is the roadmap for Go on MFDs through Bank of India.
First of all, thank you, Kanak, for giving us an opportunity and good evening all. What is it? So, in terms of Bank of India, it's been very long in terms. Thank you. Hello. Yeah. So in terms of Bank of India, it's been very long in terms of this journey. It's in 2008, the venture has happened with Bharti Exa earlier. And after Bharti, Bank of India came in 2012. And since last 2 years, it's a 100% Bank of India venture. So a lot of changes have happened in terms of this industry across. So we also have faced a lot of partners in terms of those lines. But I think Bank of India right now with 100% ownership, they are very much serious in terms of taking this AMC towards a different level. And since last few years, we have basically grown more than 150% in terms of the asset under management. And really, I think I was discussing with Suyash that it's been performance driven majorly, which has been there as an AMC. And really, it's been one of the most important part in AMC is the longevity, which has been always been there. The brand has been there always as a Bank of India, well known in terms of the industry. And definitely a lot of basically stability is there in terms of the AMC. Our CIO, Alok Singh, who has been there in this industry since last 25 years, he's been there with Bank of India for last 10 years across, and I'm happy to share that out of 15 products which we have in a kitty, 8 products which have been 5-star or 4-star rated. So a lot of performance driven part has been really played in terms of the Bank of India. As you rightly questioned that we are not been present in terms of the MFDs of in Goa. So I think we are definitely, we have taken our one of the resource, Sunil is there. So he is going to take a Goa region as a whole, and we are definitely heading towards Goa MFDs also in terms of our penetration. But we are there in Goa for 8 years, but majorly on the banking channel. Our Goa AUM as of now is 100 crores, but is majorly from the banking channel. So definitely one of the most important part which everyone has to play in terms of this industry is the MFD channel or the distribution channel, which we are definitely planning in terms of this year, and we are widespreading our wings in terms of Goa, Sindhudurga, Ratnagiri, and we are trying to place one more resource and trying to open this branch also in this financial year, so that at least we'll be present here and trying to service the Goa MFDs as a whole. But we assure you that whatever I think has been lagged in terms of last few years, we'll definitely make sure that the service part and the whatever connectivity part is always been there from our side. We in metros, we have 80% of the distributions been actively participating, and only 20% is happening from the bank. Only non-metros where we are basically trying to basically take a connectivity towards those sites, and we are assuring you all that we'll make it happen across.
Yeah, thank you Kalpesh for the assurance, and just to follow up with Kalpesh, if you have any of your onboarding links and all, please do share. Do you all have a way to onboard the
we have
MFDs
onboarding online empanelments for individuals, where it is always available on our website also, and we'll share the link with all the MFDs for onboarding it, and we can onboard it within 2 minutes. It's really an easy process to make it happen.
Yeah. Thank you. Coming to Mr. Kapil for Volt, I think most of you have briefly, touched upon that you need to avoid redemptions from mutual funds. So basically, in a very brief manner, if you can explain the entire product offering, how it operates, whether it's completely online, yeah, there is some part to it like offline, and how the process flows. It might not be in very detail, but if you can do it very briefly, so that we understand more about Volt.
So, very simple, three main questions. How much money do we get it? As per RBI, जो भी म्यूचुअल फंड का लेटेस्ट वैल्यू है, प्रेजेंट वैल्यू है, इक्विटी पे यू गेट अप टू 50%, डेट फंड्स पे यू गेट अप टू 80%. सो अगर किसी के पास 10 लाख का इक्विटी फंड है, उसको 5 लाख तक का लिमिट मिल जाएगा. अगर 10 लाख का डेट फंड है तो 8 लाख तक मिल जाएगा, जिसको कस्टमर अपनी इच्छा के अनुसार एज पर हिज विश ही कैन विड्रॉ एनी टाइम, रीपे एनी टाइम, राइट. What is the interest rate? It is 10.49% annually, but this is charged on a daily basis. So if you keep the money for 2 days, you only have to pay interest for 2 days. That's it. एक महीने का अगर approximate I say, it is 0.89%, less than 1%. Mutual funds Nifty का अगर मैं growth बोलूँ तो 12% है, it's 12%. We just give it 10.49. तो overall this is the only loan that earns for the customer. Redeem करने का जो tax का part है वो तो अलग benefit है, right? So interest rate is very low, less than 1% per month, especially for cases like अगर 5 दिन 10 दिन के लिए आपको पैसा चाहिए. Never redeem your mutual funds for all purposes for short or medium term needs. Third, what is the processing fee? We have a processing fee of around 1000 plus GST that is only applied once a year. अगर एक बार आपने वो liquidity ले ली, फिर आप उसके पास 100 times withdraw करेंगे, 100 times repay करेंगे, that will not be applied again. एक साल में. So essentially, being correct, it is a proxy savings account. If I've invested 10 lakh and if I want money, I can take out anytime, repay anytime, no questions asked. How is the process? Redemption takes T+2 to get the money. We get the money same day. End-to-end process to get loan against securities takes less than 10 minutes. I do not require any document from your side. I do not require any picture from your side. मुझे बस PAN, मोबाइल नंबर और OTP चाहिए, and we can check and show your limit within 15 seconds and finish the process within less than 5 minutes and give you the money in within less than 24 hours to your account. So there is no reason for the customer essentially to basically redeem, because that will come later also. And last point, what's in it for mutual fund distributors? If a customer comes directly, we offer him the same rate or higher maybe, but if he comes through you, he gets the one of the lowest rates. Plus, there is a trail income from our side, which is additional to the AMC trail income that you will be getting if you avoid redemption of up to 0.65% on utilization. So it is the only product where you can get save redemption for the customer, save him the taxes, give him the liquidity, plus earn more. So all the three parties are happy. That is.
Yeah. Thanks for briefly explaining the process, and coming back to you again. Let me be a little devil's advocate so that people are more knowledgeable about Volt. Suppose somebody pledges his equity 50% portfolio to y'all, and might be he's doing it for a month or so, and he's paying the requisite interest. What happens in case of a heavy correction when it happens in the equity market? Example, pandemic. In 3 days when you saw 20-25%, your money has come down. So in that case, how do you all take care of it, और उसमें क्या implications है to the person who is taking loan from you all?
So look, sir, the best question I could ever expect. So what the rule is, it's a secured loan. तो जो security का value है, उस पे मैं loan दे सकता हूँ. अगर आपकी security का value let's say 1 लाख रुपए था equity fund का, I can give up to 50%, 50,000. Now RBI rule says कि 50% ही max loan का value होना चाहिए, right? I've taken out that 50,000 पूरा के पूरा. Now let's say value of the fund drops from 1 lakh to 90,000. What is the max I can give? 50% of 90,000, which is 45,000. In this case, 5,000 का shortfall होता है, right? What happens if when a shortfall occurs? Customer को 7 days मिलते हैं to regularize the shortfall. How a customer can regularize the shortfall? I can pay that 5,000 rupees cash, right? Second option is I can pledge 10,000 more, because then value again reaches 1 lakh. If I don't do that in the next 7 days, then amount equal to the shortfall will be sold and the shortfall will be regularized. तो 7 दिन बाद ये होता है. Generally funds do not fall 10% in a day. So ये surprise नहीं आता कि suddenly 5,000 आ गया. Second, to safeguard this, we upfront के 45%. ताकि 10% फॉल तक तो मार्जिन कॉल आई नहीं, तो जनरली मार्जिन कॉल कस्टमर को नहीं आए. बट इन केस आता है, ही नोट्स एडवांस एंड डज इट अगेन. इफ अ कस्टमर रिक्वायर्स, देन वी कैन इंक्रीज दिस 45% to 50%. But to safeguard the retail investor and to save the distributor from day-to-day questions, we give initially 45%. In the last 1 year, we have stopped 1,000 crore worth of redemptions. And I can happily tell you there have been no sell-offs due to margin call in the last 1 year. And जो भी corrections, मतलब अभी कमी हुआ है, but जो भी corrections हमने देखे हैं, there has been no sell-off due to margin call.
Sorry others to keep you waiting. Just one more follow question. You said when the redemption happens and you all do the booking of the money, is it comes through the client's account or it goes directly to you all? How does the redemption happen?
So
in terms of the margin call.
हाँ, so basically what is happening is जो भी security है, they are pledging it to me, basically गिरवी रख रहे हैं. So I will sell that amount and directly get into my account. So I have basically pledging is I have the right in case you do not pay as per the rules. Otherwise I cannot do anything. That is the idea.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
So basically we try to ask the customers अगर कोई preference है तो we are okay with that. Right? For हमारे लिए सर basically liquidity है, every scheme is the same. We ask the customer, if the customer doesn't say, तो as per the policy minimum जो required होगा, that we try to sell.
Yeah. So I know all of you all will have a lot of questions like DB sir. If there are, please note down and pass it forward so I can ask it to the required panelist over here. So coming back to the AMCs, giving rest to Mr. Kapil. So let's do with Amog. Amog, can you tell us in Tata Mutual Funds, if there are various schemes, bouquet of schemes which are available, which are the ones the current MFD should be looking at, and anything, why we should be looking at those of Tata Mutual Fund schemes particularly?
So at Tata Mutual Fund, we are a full service fund house. We have almost 28-30 equity side schemes, right from a large cap fund to maybe a flexi cap, multi cap, and then to a balanced advantage fund. I would highlight some of the unique themes which are there and which will be suitable to the market right now. So the predominantly considering the level of market which is there, and we all know जब risk कुछ भी नहीं देख रहा होता है तभी सबसे बड़ा risk होता है. So we believe large cap right now, maybe a large and mid cap fund makes a lot of sense. We have a large and mid cap fund which has been there since 1993. पहले वो equity opportunities fund के नाम से था. In SEBI recognition only we changed it to large and mid cap fund. Strategy मेरी उसमें बड़ी simple है. 50-50 मैं अपना portfolio रखता हूँ. 50-50 doesn't mean large cap and mid cap, small cap, but 50% will be my earning compounders. 50% ऐसे stocks रहेंगे जहाँ पे मुझे 12, 15, 18% return मिलता ही जा रहा है. They will be my long term buy and hold strategy. And the remaining 50% will be those stocks जहाँ पे मुझे earning upgrade दिख रहा है अगले 2 से 3 साल में. उस earning upgrade का reason कुछ भी हो सकता है. Maybe वो deep value से value की तरफ shift हुए हैं. So we as a fund house we focus on growth at reasonable price. So which allows us to be, ना तो मैं overboard हूँगा कभी growth पे, मेरा कभी भी portfolio का PE आपको बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं मिलेगा, ना ही कभी मैं ऐसे stocks लूँगा जो कि अगर मैं hindsight में देखूँ तो कोई power company है या कोई infrastructure company है जहाँ पे deep value होता है. So we operate in a tight range. उस केस में क्या होता है, अर्निंग कंपाउंडर में आई हैव अ पोर्टफोलियो विच इज एक्टिवली मैनेज विच विल कीप ऑन शफलिंग इन द नेक्स्ट 2-3 ईयर, और जहाँ पे मुझे अर्निंग डबल होती हुई दिख रही है. तो उसमें बेनिफिट ये होता है, मे भी हो सकता है मॉडरेट परफॉर्मेंस से मैं एक आउटस्टैंडिंग परफॉर्मेंस में पहुंच जाऊँ जहाँ पे मैं इंडेक्स को तो बीट कर ही रहता हूँ एंड वील बी बीटिंग द पीयर्स ऑल्सो. सो लास्ट 5 years वी आर इन द क्वार्टाइल 1 इन दिस लार्ज एंड मिड कैप फंड. The size of the fund from being almost 800 crores 5 years back, Chandra Prakash Padiyar इसको मैनेज कर रहे हैं पिछले 5 साल से. The fund size is now more than 6,000 crores. So that is one fund which should be considered. Apart from that, we have a we have a unique fund which is mostly not there with the competition, which is Tata Multi-Asset Opportunities Fund. Though this name has been popularized by some of the larger fund houses and especially Kotak also. But we launched this fund just before COVID. Feb 2020 is the time when we launched this fund. And it was just a 250 crore NFO. मैं इसमें क्या कर रहा हूँ यूनिक इक्विटी एलोकेशन सेम मेरा 50-55% रहेगा बाकी का मैं आर्बिट्राज लूँगा टू मेक इट इक्विटी टैक्स मल्टी एसेट फंड बट द इंटरेस्टिंग पार्ट कम्स जहाँ पे मैं 25% कमोडिटीज ले रहा हूँ और जहाँ पे मैं कमोडिटी आर्बिट्राज कर रहा हूँ एंड वी हैव बीन डूइंग दिस थिंग्स फॉर द लास्ट 4 years हर महीने का मुझे एक रोल ओवर एक महीने से ऊपर का पॉसिबल नहीं होता है सो वी डील इन ETCDs एक्सचेंज ट्रेडेड कमोडिटी डेरिवेटिव्स जहाँ पे मुझे किसी भी कमोडिटी को फिजिकल बाय करने की जरूरत नहीं है मैं उसका डेरिवेटिव लेके आर्बिट्राज कर सकता हूँ मज़े की बात यह है जहाँ पे 4 साल पहले ब्याज दर 4.5-5 के आसपास चल रहा था हम लोग को फिक्स्ड इनकम इंस्ट्रूमेंट में शायद 5.5-6 मिल रहा था मैक्सिमम वहाँ पे कमोडिटी आर्बिट्राज का स्प्रेड वॉज एज हाई एज 8.5% एंड कमोडिटी आर्बिट्राज इज एज गुड एज इक्विटी आर्बिट्राज जहाँ पे मुझे कोई रिस्क नहीं होता द ओनली पोजिशनल कॉल जहाँ पे मैं शायद रिस्क लेता हूँ कमोडिटीज में वो आता है गोल्ड और सिल्वर एंड गोल्ड और सिल्वर वी नो कि किस तरह से इंडस्ट्रियल यूज़ बढ़ रहा है और हाउस होल्ड यूज़ बढ़ रहा है तो उस पर मेरा बुलिश कॉल रहता है बट उसके अलावा मैं सिर्फ और सिर्फ आर्बिट्राज करता हूँ कमोडिटीज़ का सो दिस इज वन यूनिक थीम देन वी हैव अ बैलेंस एडवांटेज वन विच इज ऑफ कोर्स कंपेरेबल टू एनी ऑफ द पायनियर फंड हाउसेज बट आई वुड से लार्ज एंड मिड कैप फंड and multi-asset opportunities fund should be in your portfolio and it suits the market. Thank you.
Thank you, Amog, for sharing that. Coming to Shweta, on the same, I think you had already shared certain schemes earlier in your answer, but can you tell again which is the one scheme and why do we as MFD should be looking at in the current times from 360? One asset 360.
No, actually, I was waiting for the same question to come to me because for me, the job becomes very easy. On the mutual fund side, we have very limited schemes. On the active equity side, we have got 3 schemes. One I mentioned already this year will be completing 10 years, which is my focused equity. Another fund which we launched last year, which is our 361 Flexi Cap Fund. It's an extension of our focused fund. Because as per the regulations, we all know that we cannot exceed more than 30 stocks in our focused category. So here the fund manager gets that extra flexibility. Hence, we wanted a strategy on the flexi cap side. Very balanced mix between your large, mid and small caps. As we speak also, large cap allocation is at around 51% in the fund. We are very, very gung-ho about the strategy. That is one, of course, definitely recommended strategy from our end. Second, as कनक सर अभी थोड़ी देर पहले एक सुंदर सी कविता बताई थी जिसमें बोले थे बहुत सारे प्याले हैं जिसे हमें तोड़ना है सो उनमें से एक प्याला हमारा FD का प्याला भी है सो काफ़ी इन्वेस्टर्स का बुक इज़ वेरी मच हैवी ऑन द FD साइड एज वेल So, like I mentioned, we launched a very unique strategy last year, which is balanced hybrid fund, where we are looking at only 2 asset classes, pure true to label. One is 50% equity, 50% debt. No arbitrage will be participating in this strategy. If investor holds the investment for next 3 years, he is eligible for an indexation benefit as well. Hence, that FD wala pyali wala customer, investor, if he is willing or first time introducing himself or bringing that money to the equity market, makes more sense that this will not be very aggressive strategy. Your 50% is a debt component to it, which is again very safe. We are not playing any duration risk, कोई credit risk नहीं है. Modified duration आपके portfolio का 2.5-3 years है, so no duration risk, no credit risk. Simple long only equity side में portfolio है. So very simple strategy. Not too much of a activity will happen in that. No too much of a scientific way. Simple आधा equity आधा debt. FD का client है first time investor कर रहा है first time कोई client introduce हो रहा है equity market में भी makes more sense for him to come with a strategy so that अगर correction भी होता है तो he will not lose his sleep at least. You will not see a major drop in the strategies like this. So these 2 definitely are most recommended from the mutual fund side. We have our office set up now in Goa as well. There is a dedicated resource, so we'll be more than happy to assist you for anything. Yeah, that's it.
So thank you, Shweta, for explaining your two products very nicely. Coming to Kalpesh, because we are talking about the product, so let's do with Kalpesh. So Kalpesh, can you, on the same question line, tell us about one of your scheme which you think we should be looking at, and what is the, very briefly, what is the strategy, how you look at the scheme?
So one of the best product which is right now, I think most of the industry distributions houses have been recommending to the investors is a flexi cap, because that basically a dynamism basically can change from mid to small to large. So one of the flexi cap, Bank of India flexi cap fund has that kind of agility to move from mid to small to large. So I'll just share you one of the example that March 2023 we were around 30% in large cap, and today we are around 65% in large cap. So that agility has basically helped in terms of getting those funds towards a best performing flexi cap in 1 year and 3 years. So that's a fund basically I will definitely recommend to the MFDs to look upon. And one of the most innovative products which basically we have is a mid and small cap, because in these market conditions people are very much afraid to enter into the mid and small cap kind of segment. So we have one of the product which is a mid and small cap equity and debt fund which have 65 to 80% only in mid and small cap. We cannot take it in large cap, and 20 to 35% is in debt. So that combination no one have in this industry. This is the best combination if anyone wants to make a investment in a broader size of the markets. This is a investment where they can do it is in mid and small cap equity debt fund, where mid and small cap is 65 to 80% and 20 to 35% is in debt. So in case of the market, if anything happens in terms of the coming months or coming year, there is a 35% cushion to basically protect the downside. So this is one of the unique opportunity if anyone wants to invest as of now also in lump sum in terms of the broader market. They can definitely choose a mid and small cap equity and debt fund. It's a right time to basically make the investment in a broader size. That's what we think on. If anyone thinks that there is still a correction, this is a fund they can use it across.
Thank you, Kalpesh, for your answer. Coming to Kedar, now I'll not go into product because now there's, we look at one of the latest $1 million question, the KYC. Abhi sub mutual fund distributors are tensed with the lot of KYC issues happening. So if Kedar, you can, tell us about how Kotak is taking up this for the MFDs. What is there a procedure, or how do you recommend we should go about the KYC, or some insights on KYC issues?
Yeah, so as you said, it's become the hot topic currently. So initially when the circular came, even we at the local level were in a situation wherein how we can help the distributors, because there were multiple things which were going. There were some KYCs which had come on hold. There were some KYCs which were registered but not validated. So the main task which at a local level we are doing, or we were doing, were like go and get in touch with the distributor, try and help them to understand what are these two different things, help them out to solve their things. Now when helping them to sort these things, what we generally do is the priority goes to the KYCs which are on hold, because of if your KYC has gone on hold, your existing SIPs, or you're not allowed to do redemptions, or you're not allowed to do any additional subscription. So we tell them, or we help them, or try to tell them what are the reasons these KYCs are going. So basically, when your KYC goes on hold, it is because of 3 reasons. One would be your email verification failure. Second would be mobile verification failure. And third one would be your Aadhaar PAN not linking. Now when it comes to mobile verification and email verification, if it is correctly mentioned on the form, it is just a matter of 5 minutes wherein you can validate for your client, and then the KYC would get registered status. At least having a registered status will not hamper your existing investment, or his existing SIPs will go smoothly. Now once this is taken care, the second step comes is your validation status. Now for validation, say if the KYC is with the registered status, what you need to understand is Whenever there is a KYC, you have to first see what are the different KRAs. So basically there are 5 KRAs. One would be CAMS KRA, CVL KRA, NDML, DOTX, and CARVI KRA. Most of the KYCs which you would find would be more into CAMS and CVL KRA. So say if the status of the KYC is registered, so what you have to do as an AMC, as a distributor is just go and check what is the address proof which is given. If the address proof given is Aadhaar card, in those cases you can actually download and mask Aadhaar and get it validated for your client by doing it online, uploading the Aadhaar online, one. Second, say if the status of the KYC is registered and proof of address is something other than the Aadhaar card. The thumb rule here is if you want to validate your KYC, you need to have an Aadhaar card. The validation of the KYC can be done only with the Aadhaar card. So if there is any other document other than the Aadhaar which is submitted, as an MFD you have 2 options to validate it. One, either you give an offline KYC to the AMC and then get it validated. And second option would be you do it through an online mode. Now there is a misunderstanding like if I give a fresh set of KYC along with the Aadhaar card, the KYC would get validated. But in some cases it will not get validated. It would be like registered status with a proof of address as Aadhaar. Now for this we need to understand what is the meaning of an validation. So for that we need to understand what is KYC. So KYC is basically done, one, the photograph which is mentioned on the KYC form should match so that I should be able to identify that person, one. Second, whatever contact details, say mobile number or email ID, if at any given point in time, if I'm trying to get in touch with the client, I should be able to have a communication with him. Because we are seeing some of the folios wherein contact details are not updated and it is very difficult for us to get in touch with those clients. And third would be the address. Now if I try to locate the client or if I try to approach to his address, he should be accessible. For this reason, we need to get it validated. Now the next question which comes from the MFD side is, why only Aadhaar, why not other address proofs? So for this, another thing would be like voter ID doesn't have an expiry date, then why not an voter ID can be validated? Now the issue with this is, the mechanism which is currently available for us is, validation can be done only through Aadhaar. There is no mechanism wherein I can do a validation using an voter ID. So basically in a validation, what we do is, the QR code is scanned of the client's QR code from the Aadhaar is scanned. We try to match entire detail which is mentioned on the Aadhaar records to the details which are mentioned on the KYC. If they are perfect, then it has been validated. Now last question which I would like to highlight would, what about the NRI cases, NRI clients? Because when it comes to Goa, most of our client bases would be of the NRI. Now initially it was said that NRIs are being exempted from this, but no, even NRIs need to validate their KYCs. Now if NRI wants to validate his KYC, again the thumb rule remains the same, that he needs to validate his KYC with Aadhaar. Now some of the clients, because NRIs are being exempted from having an Aadhaar, some people are not holding the Aadhaar. In such cases, you'll have to submit a fresh set of KYC when you are opening a new folio with the AMC. Now what is the reason behind this is, say I am the NRI client and I opened a folio with particular AMC, say 5 years back. A set of KYC was submitted along with that form. The IPV on that particular KYC form is done by 2 people. One is the MFD, second is the employee of that particular AMC. Say subsequently in 1 year's time or 6 months' time, the same client gives another application to another AMC. What that new AMC would do is, based on the IPV done by the distributor or the AMC wherein the KYC was submitted, I will just fetch the details from him and based upon his IPV, I will process it. But now SEBI says that if you want to process it, you cannot process or you cannot have a new folio based upon the IPV done by some other AMC employee. You take the owner, either the distributor has to do the IPV or you as an employee has to do the IPV or you get it validated. So that's it.
Not NRI. So, and since he is not working, he is not linked his PAN with Aadhaar because he doesn't require Aadhaar. So those PAN cards which are not linked to Aadhaar are suspended with income tax department. They are not, if you see, they are not, you cannot do anything. If that person wants to sell property also, it is not valid. So the first thing those person, what he is supposed to do is inform income tax department with your passport and your foreign address and get your PAN card status changed to NRE. Then there will not be any issue for him. As long as he is not doing that, he is from income tax angle, he is an Indian and his Aadhaar is not linked to PAN. So this is what is more important than anything for NRI. NRI people, they have got Aadhaar, but they many people don't have also, but they feel that since they are NRI, it is not required to do. But when we explain him this, they either link Aadhaar to PAN, or I request more better is inform the income tax department and change. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Kedar, for sharing about very insightful KYC. Thanks, Hari sir, to add to the NRI perspective. And what he's saying is that NRI's PAN cards who were not attached with Aadhaar have been made inoperative. So they can be made operative either going to the income tax office as he sends the clients. Yeah, yeah, or so they just remove the they just put up a NRI flag and that's done. And also it can be done online through grievance channel on the income tax side. So that's to it. So I think we are constrained with time. We have already run up by 15 minutes. So I'll take another 5 minutes to see if you all have any questions which you'll have jotted down to any of our FENO panelists if you all want to ask. Any of you all who want to ask any question to the FENO panelist, anything which is pertaining to you personally, not? No? Volt, yeah. Mr. Kapil.
Yeah, hi. You said the investors' amount remains in their name, right? But you said you are going to sell them directly. So do you require their signature or you can do it yourself?
So basically in the journey, ma'am, हमने RTA scams और कार्वी के साथ वो indication किया है कि an OTP will go to the customer before pledging. So once they give that OTP, they have pledged the funds to the lender. अब pledging का meaning क्या है कि they have given us the right to sell if the customer does not pay. So वो signature is an online OTP based signature in this case, and I have the right to sell in the condition, let's say margin shortfall या customer नहीं pay in that case. मतलब power atom is slightly different, but करीबन concept same है मोटा सा.
Yeah, just to follow up on her question, and we were on KYC. तो जैसे AMCs को KYC लगता है, do you all also need to get the KYC of the persons whom you all lend to?
Absolutely. तो यहाँ पे एक और मैं एंगल ऐड कर देता हूँ. हाँ. ये सब KYC सेबी का है. RBI is a separate set of KYC. ठीक है. तो RBI में what we have done to avoid all this is we have integrated DigiLocker into the process so that you enter your Aadhaar, enter OTP and PIN, and you get the KYC done digitally 100%.
Aadhaar है तो
redemption नहीं. हाँ. उनके उस केसेस में हो जाएगा. Correct.
Done. तो it will not happen ना.
अगर वो so basically CVL KRA वहाँ पे अगर आपका status है, so not to tell, मतलब ये recording obviously नहीं जानी चाहिए, but if there is a gap, there have been 1-2 cases where वहाँ पे updated नहीं था, but हमारे से pledge हो गया था. But it's not suggested because what will happen is in a case when I'll go to liquidate, I will not be able to redeem. So it's a bad situation for me.
So the correct procedure is KYC में AMC में होना चाहिए या म्यूचुअल फंड्स में होना चाहिए तो lending होगा and तो आपका KYC होके process होगा. So that's the correct procedure.
But
that should happen.
It's a different authority for KYC.
KYC.
I want to be very clear.
But the process में हो रहा है, होता है.
RBI is very different. अगर आपका कहीं भी KYC होता है जैसे CKYC और बाकी सब process हैं, then we pull that तो ये सब step भी थोड़ा कम होगा.
Okay. And the last follow-up question, very shortly to Volt. have you all been doing such cases in Goa? And roughly, if you can share the number, अब तक कितना हुआ है?
So अभी तक we have 2,000 plus active partners across India. We have stopped redemption. Empaneled is around 5,000 plus. We have stopped redemption 1,000 crore in the last 1 year. So हम लोग 2 साल पुरानी कंपनी है, 6 महीने प्रोडक्ट बना रहे थे. Last January 1 we started distribution. In 1 year we have stopped 1,000 crore. With the current run rate, we should be able to stop 3,000 to 5,000 crore more in this year. Goa में we are active with a few MFDs. मतलब overall level पे I can get it, but yeah, overall is 2,000 plus MFDs across India.
Yeah. So
we have to take a cash statement from the client, so we come to know that whether the client also have other investment, like say direct investment, whatever. So we can suggest accordingly to the client, whatever percentage of the money that the redemption or whatever money that clients needed. And so just one question, what is the time period that you all have, the term for a loan?
So basically we have two currently, 1 year and 3 year. 1 year essentially is up 1 year बाद you can renew it infinitely for 1 year, and 3 year is also tenure, which after 3 years you will need to renew. But जो भी आपका लोन अमाउंट होता है, जैसे मैंने 1 लाख लिया हुआ and 12 months has happened. At the end of 12 months I just renew it with an OTP and that's it. Again वो 12 महीनों का tenure extend.
And the lenders is NBFC. Which NBFC?
So we have partnered with currently 2 NBFCs, Bajaj Finance and Tata Capital. So both are AAA rated and very secure. But
Okay.
to the point, sorry, please.
What is the time? What is the time period for credit to the fund?
Same day, sir.
Same day.
24
so
hours.
once the lien is marked, then you are going to credit. the
Yes,
money.
yes, yes. The end-to-end process takes 5 minutes. For just last 30 seconds, for distributors, before recommended product, हमें confidence चाहिए होता है. So you can open your own line with us, and for this group, definitely, we will waive off the processing fee for the distributor. So जो भी 499, 999 है, for mutual for distributor only, आप try कीजिए product, we will refund this amount, and if you do not like it, then close. So you are 100% sure how it works, how you can use, how you can repay everything, and then if you are sure, then recommend it to your customers.
Thank you so much.
But
yeah.
sir, we set up a mandate in the journey, and monthly interest payment होता है. From जो भी उनका savings account linked होता है सर, वहाँ से automatically pay हो जाता है.
Yeah.
एक जो बहुत सही point उन्होंने बोला, when you want to get customers, अगर when you fetch the portfolio of a customer, you get all the mutual fund scheme, whether it's direct or regular, especially regular में जो banking customers के साथ होता है. So banks, biggest distributors are banks. Banks sell products which they want to sell, right? Not what's according to the risk of the customer. वो सब मतलब practical word पे काफी grey area में चल रहा है. So when you see it, the expense ratios of those schemes are absolutely the same. So it's very easy to advise a customer to have a better portfolio when you see it. And whatever number we have, 50% of the distributors find investments through other methods also for the customers when they are trying to do the LAS with us. So this is something that would be helpful.
Thank you, Kapil, for insightful. I know there will be a lot of questions. He'll be available after the session, and you all can interact with him one-on-one. So with this, I think we'll take an end to the panel discussion. Thank you all, Mr. Kapil, Mr. Kalpesh, Amog, Shweta, and Kedar, for answering all the questions. Yeah, thank you.